Hey, welcome to another Wives Wednesday. Welcome. I'm Courtney, Master Relationship Mechanic, and this is another edition of Wives Wednesday. And I am so glad that you're here joining us again, talking about the woman in the mirror so we can become the best wife, so we can reflect that in our relationships. And tonight I have a very simple message, because what comes about in a marriage, and it's supposed to happen, is you're supposed to maintain a home together. That is one of the commitments that you make, is to maintain a home together. And a lot of times we get that confused, and we put a lot of energy into making sure that we do cooking, we do cleaning, the maintenance requirements of a physical home or dwelling. But that's your house. But what you have to think about is maintaining a home is an atmosphere. It's an attitude. And it made me think about the song from The Wiz, which was sung by Donna Ross, who was Dorothy in that version of it. And it made me think about in the beginning when it says, when I think of home, it says, when I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. And that's the kind of atmosphere we should be creating as wives. We should be creating an atmosphere that you should have love overflowing, where you yourself as a wife want to be home. So that's the question you should ask yourself first. What does home mean to me? So when I think about home, what does it mean to me? Is it encouraging, or is it a place that I really don't want to go? So wife, think about, in your relationship, how do you make home? How is the atmosphere captured? How is the attitude when you go home? So what is the stage that's set at home? What does it make you think about when someone says it's time to go home? Do you do everything to avoid it? So first, think about it. What is the atmosphere? What do you do at home? And preparing for this message, I asked my daughter, what did she think about when she thought about home? And she's 17, so she told me, I think about sleep, I think about my bed, I think about food. So those are things, acts of love, because acts of love is making sure your kids have provision, your kids have nourishment, your kids feel like they have a place to come to that is going to take care of them. She can feel rested, relaxed, where she can sleep and have peace here. So that was a really good thing. So a good definition is always to ask the question, to be in communication about how each of you all feel and what home represents. So to create that atmosphere, first of all, that each of you all are expecting, you have to have that conversation and that dialogue about what home is to each of you all. I asked that same question to my husband. What did home mean to him? It meant joyful. It meant peaceful. It meant shutting out the rest of the world. And sometimes as women, we're such social creatures that we open the door and we invite everyone into our home space, and it cuts out that atmosphere. Sometimes it becomes a place just like any other place, because you allow everybody to come in and disturb that atmosphere. So make sure as a wife you are maintaining the atmosphere that is supposed to be in your relationship, in a marriage. That is for your kids, that is for your husband, and definitely for yourself. So your first assignment was, what do you think home is? Then open up yourself to the dialogue of your husband and your kids. What do they think home is as? Because if they have a negative perspective on it, that is something that you need to change, the atmosphere and the attitude that you set at home. And the thing is, if you change your attitude and atmosphere, how they think and how they feel about home will change, and then their attitude and atmosphere will change about how home is. So that is one of the biggest things. You have to be the change that you want to see. And that is what Wives Wednesday is about. It's about us becoming change agents in our relationships. So always remember, it is just a simple word, a simple thing. All you have to do is be willing to change the person that's in the mirror, and not focus on pointing the finger at having somebody else do all of the work to make the changes. Because at the end of the day, you will still be unhappy even if that person does all the changing, because you have not arrived at your best self yet. And in that song, after When I Think of Home, at the end, it was something that was really touching. It says, and I've learned. So after you maintain the home and you change and you have that switch, and once your mindset is at the place that you can think of home as a place where that love is overflowing and you create that atmosphere, you've learned that we must look inside of our hearts, because that's where it all begins. We must look inside of our hearts to find a world full of love. And it says, like yours, like mine, and like home. So the love at home should be greater than any love that's in the world. And we get confused with love as this is emotional, wonderful, good feeling, which is part of love. That's the emotional part of it. But love is what we show, is an action word. So ladies, let's check ourselves as we are embarking on the world's Valentine's Day, a day of showing love, because every day is Valentine's Day. Every day should be a day where the atmosphere of love is overflowing in your home. That Valentine's Day is just one more day to honor the people that you love. One more day to show how appreciative you are that they're here. I can give you a warning. Life is short. You never know when it's over. So create the atmosphere of love every day. Do whatever it is that you really want to do for somebody every day. Don't wait for a special occasion to show that love. Remember, if you're subscribed to this channel, next week something is happening very special for all of the subscribers of Wives Wednesday. So make sure that you are reading and looking and listening to all of the message that come out about Wives Wednesday. And I thank you again for joining me to hear a word about Wives Wednesday. As you all maintain your homes in the atmosphere of love, I sign off. This is Courtney, the Master Relationship Mechanic.